Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Now I'm going to tell you straight up front, I like today's map. I really do. I like it. I'm not going to tell you it's the most perfect thing you've ever seen. It really isn't. But you know, sometimes you just see a map and you go, yeah, I like this. Now personally, I would spend another 20 hours working on it. Not that it really needs 20 hours worth of work, but that's just a personal thing. You may agree, you may disagree, but I think you will agree that it's definitely got something about it. Something else that's got something about it is BonBonBingo. Yes, it's a completely pointless game that you play along, checking off the memes as we go along and shouting out bingo in the comments if you get a line or four corners or a full house. Link is at the top of the description of the video. Before we do any of that though, we have got daily reminders, and if you don't remember what a daily reminder's about, well, here's a reminder for you. That's right, hitting that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Woolamai Beach, I'm hoping that's the correct pronunciation, by OkByMe. It's based on the real life location of the height maps of Phillip Island, which is in Victoria, Australia. There's your start square. That looks very usable, I would say, from here, don't you? Yep. And then terrain heights, plenty of buildable land there, I would say too, and a little bit of undulation to play along with as well. Plenty of forests. A little bit of ore and oil off of the water, a little bit of fertile land on the land, which is the best place for fertile land, I would say. And fishing, if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, your fishing map is a little bit uninspired, but you can't have everything. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. Park life is listed too, although I don't think the map will be broken if you don't have it. And then we've got a few things to subscribe to, including Theme Mixer 2. There is a specifically built LUT. There's an engine in the background there you may have caught, those of you with the bingo cards. And they'll also, we'll be using, like I say, within that theme mix, the Lavianti 2.1, 2.0, that's it, 2.0. And we'll be using Reaper's Realistic LUT, which I think we had yesterday and I was confused by. Yes, it's Realistic Final, which lists up as Realistic Blue or Real Blue actually within the game. Okay, and down to ground level. Of course, there's one or two things in that list that you don't strictly need, like the loading screen mod. Although, why you wouldn't use the loading screen mod if you're playing on the PC, I do not know. It is, I would say, one of my 3 must-have mods, along with Move It and Traffic Manager. A little bit of jinky-janky going on to get onto the bridge there. I'd rather that straight on was a little bit straighter rather than just bending off. And my biggest problem with the entire map is actually here. This is just a little bit awkward in terms of terrain work. Other than that, you're not going to find anything really to moan about with today's map. So we've got that out of the way and we'll just come up here. This is a dead end that I think is out of the 25 tiles. It might be in, but it might be out. It's really like a secondary location. It's here, it's pre-built, it gives you access to the area, and I can't really complain about it, but I don't think it adds anything to the map, that specific highway down there, especially with the glitching of the terrain. It's a bit low there, but it's fine. It looked a little bit low for a moment. I thought there was going to be some possible donut clipping. Haven't had donut clipping for a while. When was the last time we had donut clipping? Quite some time ago. Donut clipping, of course, is the vanilla van with donut on the top is quite high, and when bridges are a little bit low, sometimes a donut can clip through the underside of the bridge. Nice intersection there, right on top of the hill as well. I mean, you're going to get a great view. When you're taking the top loop over there, you're going to get a great view of the area. That is superb, as they say. Okay, yeah, great choice of trees. The theme mix today, I really like the theme mix. I think the theme mix definitely works for the map and works with the foliage as well. So there's plenty of good things to talk about in terms of the aesthetics of the map. Got a minor grumble with the networking, other than that little branch line. Not so much the highway. I think the rail, well, you'll see. You'll definitely see. I think there's, and I probably wouldn't have a problem with the rail apart from one little bit of detailing in the start square. Oh, speaking of detailing, we've got some weeds running down the entire middle of the median. Clearly done with a prop line tool and a little bit awkward in places where they go a little bit close to one of the highway or the other of the highway. And because of the, if it was weeds, they would be a little bit all over the place. And if it was hand painted, it'd be much more accurate, or hand planted rather than hand painted. There's your start square there. So yes, the weeds running down the middle, assuming they're weeds and not just detailing, I feel that they'd either be more accurate or less accurate. What we have is a very accurate line that kind of like wanders just a little bit. So it's we're talking minor detailing here, very minor detailing issue, talkable stuff. Well, we got a thing. Let's have a look. It's just a billboard. Just a billboard. Fair enough. And then we have a big old bridge. Everybody loves a big old bridge. As big old bridges go, that's quite a small big old bridge. Quite a small one. It's I would still, because it's multiple span suspension. Oh, could be blue mantle. Dark line. Yeah, a little bit of blue mantle. Facing away from the start square in a bit of a ravine and getting off towards the edge of the map. If you're going to have blue mantle, I guess there is as good a place as any. Not that there's ever a good place for blue mantle, because you are literally ripping the earth apart. I do have a blue mantle tutorial, and there will be an ad. I haven't quite made it yet, but an intermission with a link to that tutorial will be available very soon. Unfortunately, I didn't have one ready in time for today's show. Currently making one Watts map and one intermission a day at the moment, and it's a little bit more than I can deal with. Just a bit more than I can deal with. Notice we got the dirt track running alongside the rail here. The dirt track is relevant because it'll ask a question later on. It'll ask us a question. It looks very nice running alongside the rail. I've got no grumbles with that one. But access to the rail line, I guess, for maintenance work. But hang on a minute, It's going to peel off away from the rail. Where does that go? We will find out in the second half of the show. Oh, Poetry Corner. Big old bridge again. Everybody lusts for a big old bridge. Oh, no, we don't. Oh, yes, we do. Oh, pantomime season, is it? Oh, my brain is gone. I've lost it again. Let me just take my tablet. Okay, right, so back to ground level. A little bit of encroaching grasses, which actually I don't mind too much. When you get the grasses encroaching onto rail lines, that is something that happens with rail lines. And then they'll come and they'll put weed killer on or rip them up or something like that. But I don't mind too much, as long as it's not stupid, or if it's clearly an abandoned rail line. But a live rail line like this one, with a little bit of grassing here and there, I think is fine. If you get a tree, trees are no-nos. Bushes, no-nos. Grasses, weeds and shrubs, very wispy shrubs, I think we can let them be, you know. So it's all good. The rail line is a little bit uppy-downy without being beyond the realms of believability in a game such as Cities Skylines. So I think we can allow the rail just to drift up and down, just these slight undulations, more than what would be a real-life rail line. Right, we'll take a look at this new intermission, and we'll be back straight after these words.
Everybody's favorite factories everywhere these days. Look, there's even one on the back of this hoodie. Want one for yourself? Then click the information button now. Come on, you know you want to.
You know what this map, Woolamai Beach by OkByMe, really needs? Everybody's favourite factory. Of course it does. Shipping routes. We have one over there, which looks perfectly fine. And then if we come over to this side of the map, there is another one somewhere. I will find it. There it is. And now you'll notice here we have a dead end here. That's fine. And little connector going across to this side, where there is a dead end up the top there, and then that all connects up down here. So we've got potential. If you were to put your harbour, say, here, for ships to have to go up to a corner and do a sharp turn. So a little bit of proper shipping triangles would be preferable. Water flow in the start square, there isn't really any. It's pretty static water. Be very careful. Be very careful what you do. I think water towers and custom assets and what was it, Green Cities, I think, where we had all the extra water treatment assets. Those are the ways that you want to go today. So what about these beaches? Do you know what? I'm loving this. Look at the way that the cliff work works. It's crisp, it's clean. We've got crisp, clean beaches. You can see the underwater has been smoothed out really beautifully. Let's have a look at the headland. This is where things could go wrong. And I think the headland is done to the same sort of standards. Like the way we've got no beach around the top of the headland as well. That makes perfect sense. And the essential lighthouse. Isn't she lovely? She is. She is indeed. So yes, I think we've got a good theme. We've got a nicely worked terrain. Nice interesting bit of terrain. Have got an interesting bit of, I think this is pathway here. I don't know why that is there. Haven't worked out. I tried to looking whether it would align with the cliff, and I just can't see any reason for that to have ever been there. But it's there. Not a big issue. Now, this is, I think, the main tourist beach at Woolamai, I'm guessing, because this is the only place on the map you will find the extra assets you need to subscribe to. I wouldn't say it's the most inspiring bit of detailing on the beach I've ever seen, but it's a nice little nod. You will find a little bit of extra asset work somewhere else in a minute, though. Now, we do have a little bit of tree clipping through the rocks here. That is a simple thing to fix again. Just hit the bulldozer, remove the rocks or the trees, whichever you prefer to keep. And then this little, remember the dirt track running alongside the rail line here? This doesn't make any sense to me at all. We've got a picnic area, which, listen, it's a perfectly lovely place for a picnic area, but why would that run alongside the rail line all the way through the valley to get there? I don't really think I'd be doing that trip myself to get to a picnic area. Maybe it's there in real life. It's a personal thing. I just don't really buy into that one. Anyway, we've got some perfectly worked beach terrain, except for this little area over here, which frankly doesn't look like it's been worked at all. The underwater detailing isn't done. There's no terrain work done on that island. Over here again, we've got the glitchy edges to the beach, which could just be cleaned up again. It's literally like they forgot they had an extra bit of beach to clean up. But when it's been done very well indeed. And then down to the start square. Now, put lines of terrain on that's not perfectly flat. It's just a little bit undulated going upslope. Nothing that's going to stop you from building a great looking city here. And up here we've got a little feature area which confuses me. Like, we've got the ice cream van and I think they're selling surfboards. That's great, okay. But we're miles from the beach. First of all, the nearest beach, you've got to go make your way across the rail line, and there's no way across the rail line. So that's the nearest beach over there. I don't see that that's a possibility. Or you could go the long way, all the way past the highway, and here's your main beach down here. So this is where you're probably going to be doing your surfing or something, I guess, given by the hints of the assets. I don't see any benefit to that park being there at all. Anyway, whilst we're in the start square, let's go and have a look at my favourite tipple. It's the, I don't know if this is Wiggle or Viggle or Vigle or Wigle. I'm going with Wiggle because it's funny. Wigle Whiskey Distillery by yinzerr. This is a great looking old style, and I'm guessing American asset. Looks American to me, and certainly given the name, I think I'd recognise it if it was a UK brand of whiskey. But yes, it's a lovely thing, this especially the frontage of the asset, and great work of course by yinzerr. And I do like a whiskey. I don't drink much, but when I do, just a little tipple of that is perfect. I've got 2 unopened bottles. People keep giving me bottles of whiskey. Stop it. Ever since the 6th century, the imperial throne of Japan has been occupied by just one family. That's impressive. When you compare that to the United Kingdom, where, well, anyway. Anyway, yes, factoids, because factoids that was, and Japan, fantastic. And the Wigle Whiskey Distillery by Yinzerr. Today's asset of the day, I'm sure that's probably Wigle. It can't be Wiggle. It can't be. Oh, I don't know. Help me, please. What do you think of today's map, anyway? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right corner of your screen, or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple, or a Patreon account. But what do I think of today's map? Well, aesthetically, I like this. Yes, it has got 1 or 2 minor flaws here and there, which I ask questions of it. But I still think it's a 4-star map. I'm going to have to go lowish end of 4 stars, though. But I like it. Detailing. Detailing, there's not too much wrong with it. The bits that should take it to the next level don't. And so, therefore, middle 3. Gameplay potential. I think this is pretty playable. I ask question marks about that rail line. It's odd, but it's also right at the same time. So it works. I think we'll have to go 4 stars, but we'll go bottom end of 4 stars. Woolamai Beach by OkByMe. I like this. Does the detailing hold it back enough to not give the seal of approval? Do you know what? I would play this. So, therefore, the BonBonB seal of approval. Yeah, it's probably the weakest map score-wise for a long time that I've given the approval to. But it works. Do you know what? That map is okay by me. Literally. Right, we've made it towards the end of the show, which I'd like to say thank you to all of the Patreons. Thank you very much for all of your ongoing support. There's nothing left for me to do apart from to say if you're part of the 20 and out elite, use the words of the day into the comments. Score yourself some population points just for fun. Use it as part of a sentence to show how clever you are, because I know you're clever. And I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What Map series. Have a great day, and I'll see you very, very soon.